What's up, everybody? Brian Tong here, and if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been hyped up for the Disney Plus streaming service, and it's now officially out in the US, Canada, and the Netherlands, Australia, and New Zealand. They're going to be getting it very soon. Their servers, we know they're getting hammered on launch, but Disney Plus knows this, and they're going to be working through it. I know that won't make some of you feel better, but hey, just be patient. So this is going to be my in-depth review of the service and everything it can do. Plus, I'm going to jump in with my thoughts on their big launch titles and shows. So let's get into it. And the first thing I felt right when I launched Disney Plus is just how impressive and overwhelming the content is here. Where else are you going to see a navigation bar with the brands Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and Nat Geo in the main navigation bar in the home screen? It's absolutely impressive, and I just literally looked at it and said, damn. Now, the home screen visually has a similar Apple TV interface look and feel to it. You can keep scrolling to the right to see more content like you do on every other streaming app. I jumped into some of the Disney Plus originals, and you really feel how impressive the artwork is that they're using. It's just more epic because of how much of the screen space they use. And even when I jump into a dedicated section like Disney, you get that iconic animated castle when the section first loads in. Yeah, that totally worked on me. Now, you'll see all the stuff that they've taken out of their vault that's available on day one. You have classic animated movies. Then you even have iconic old Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie cartoons. Look, if you live and breathe Disney, there is no way you're not going to be like all in your feelings when you first scroll through the content available on day one. I also then jumped into the Pixar section, and again, it was bold and bright. And then you see like the first 3 Toy Story movies all lined up together, or then you see the Cars movies all lined up together, and you are reminded that you are getting this huge library. Now go to the Marvel section, and you won't get every movie from the MCU on day one. Avengers Endgame was just added as a day one launch title. So here's the 16 MCU movies that you will get on launch, with more to come as they continue to roll out content on the service. But just keep drilling down, and there are plenty of classic animated series like the Spider-Man ones from the 80s and then the 90s. And if we're talking about the 90s, the entire X-Men animated series, they're here as well. When I kind of dove into that, though, the organization of the episodes for X-Men and their dedicated seasons was a little out of whack, if I'm being picky, but I'm sure that's going to get resolved eventually. Now, let's just jump into the Star Wars section. You'll get the original trilogy, the prequels, and then The Force Awakens, but there is no Last Jedi. It doesn't show up anywhere, so I decided, let's see if I can find it. I used the side navigation bar that you can go to by hitting the menu button when you're on the main home screen, or just, navigate over to the far left, pull left as well to get that search tool sidebar to pop out. Once I found it, I searched for it, and a message on the artwork says that it's coming soon to Disney Plus. Due to existing agreements, this title will be available on December 26th, 2019, and this isn't the only movie that has a note on it like this. The side navigation bar can also really be helpful to find specific things. We know that you can go into any movie or show and then hit that plus sign on it to add it to your watch list, and then if you want to see everything on your watch list, you'll find it in the sidebar. You can also find the Disney originals. It's in a row on the main home screen, but as that content library keeps getting bigger and bigger, you can find all the originals in one place here in the sidebar as well. But look, if you're a video or audiophile like me and you just want to see the best content and the best quality that Disney Plus has available, we're talking about 4K Ultra HD, HDR, Dolby Atmos sound, you'll have to do this. Go to the movie section in the sidebar, and then there's different ways to search for movies here, but all the way to the right, you can see there's the Ultra HD and HDR. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get there because the navigation can be a little finicky. But once you're there, it's going to show you all the movies available in 4K, Ultra HD, and HDR. And if you select one, you can look at the details for specific movies to see if they also bring Dolby Atmos sound as well. It's pretty awesome how they've cleaned up some of the classics like The Little Mermaid or The Sword in the Stone and others to be presented in 4K with Dolby Atmos sound. But you know what? Even if Disney Plus says that it's a Dolby Atmos track and my receiver shows it outputting that signal, I didn't hear an all-new dedicated sound mix that sounded significantly more immersive for those classic movies with my Dolby Atmos system. So I don't know, maybe it's me not hearing it, or it's just not, a completely remastered soundtrack, which it wouldn't be surprising to me if it's not. You'll also find other movies that are listed here in the section that won't be available until later due to previous agreements with other services. So if you look up things, I checked out Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's coming later. The live-action Christopher Robin, also the live-action Beauty and the Beast, or the first Maleficent movie, and more. they'll show them here in this Ultra HD section, but not all of them are available. So I'm just going to scroll down here so you can kind of take a look at the movies that will be available now or will be coming in the next year with 4K HDR or Dolby Vision image quality and Dolby Atmos sound, just for you nerds that really care about that stuff. Now, the service is going to be growing, but some of these dates are as far out as late 2020 before they really make it onto Disney Plus. Now, also in the sidebar at the top, this is where you can also create profiles for multiple users who will have their own viewing habits, right? So they can have their own recommendations and watch lists. I think it's fun because they have this just absolutely huge list of profile icons that you can choose from all their different properties, Pixar, Marvel, Disney, everything you can think of, Star Wars, obviously, but there's really too many to go over. I'm just flipping through them here. There's a lot of variety from heroes to villains and then Disney princesses, but also, come on, you can have some fun with the obvious profile pick for dad. Now, the app, it's not perfect, and sometimes it crashes, at least on the Apple TV 4K app on the first day that I was using it. And I mentioned earlier that the service is having trouble delivering content for many people on day one because it's just being hammered right out of the gates. It doesn't happen often, but the crashing happened 3 times for me in the span of about 2.5 hours that I was using it. And it mostly happened, though, when I was just navigating through the app. It only did it once when I just requested to start a TV show, but I've been able to view really every piece of content that I've requested successfully, but I know that's not the case for everyone. So that's really kind of a really pretty deep overview of the app and everything you can do with it. But let's talk about some of the original launch content. And you know, it all starts with The Mandalorian. This is their flagship show to draw in people before we start getting this huge surge of original content in 2020. And man, I mean, The Mandalorian absolutely delivers. I'm not going to put any spoilers here, but the feel, the attitude, the world building. Oh my goodness. Like, come on. The world building is absolutely incredible, right? This show takes place after the fall of the Empire and how things get sorted out after that mess. The mystery is all there. The characters, they just feel so Star Wars, which is the best compliment that you can say, but they're even a little rougher and a little edgier. You've got this feel of an old Western set in the Star Wars universe. The soundtrack is awesome. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm loving it. This is an absolute must-see series on day one that got me hooked and just instantly makes me want to see the next episode. And you know what? It's really hard to nail a flagship show like that. You got to give major props to Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, the entire team for really putting together a show that is worthy of getting this service, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, which is a whole lot of people. I watched Lady and the Tramp. We have live action dogs and really a cute, charming movie. Yeah, I'm comfortable calling a movie cute. But what I liked about it is that they animate the eyes of the animals, so they have a more hyper-realistic Disney cartoony feel, and I feel like that's what was really missing from the live-action Lion King. It looked amazing, but because it was so realistic, the character eyes, they showed little to no emotion. They were like animals in the jungle, and you lost a lot of that connection to the characters that the original animated movie brought. So Lady and the Tramp, they play both sides of this really well. Also, I'm sorry, the sleeper show of the service and the funniest, it has to be High School Musical, the series. Trust me, it makes sense. And whether you saw the original High School Musical or not, this show is shot in this office style, mockumentary style that makes you feel at times like you're really this fly on the wall at East High. And I'll admit, maybe I like it because, you know, I did singing groups in high school, but this is a really funny show that's also kind of cheesy in that teeny bopper CW cheesy way. And I'm here for all of it. All right, The World According to Jeff Goldblum is fun. It's not a must-see. I mean, if you love him, you'll love it too, like I do. The first episode was about sneaker culture, which I'm totally into, so it was fun to watch for me, but I could see a lot of people just stopping it midway. I didn't get a chance to check out the rest of the original content yet, but if you have any favorites here that I should be watching, or you think that I'm completely wrong on some of this stuff, hey, let me know down here. That's why we have the comments. Be nice. All right, overall, Disney Plus is an impressive launch with this huge library of content and really plenty more coming. In year one, they've committed to bringing 25 plus episodic series and then 10 plus movies and specials. And you know what? You have the Nat Geo content, you have The Simpsons, you have the Gargoyles animated series. I didn't even really talk about those, and just so much more to come on the service. Come on, like, this is getting ridiculous. So if you're a fan of any of these properties like I am, it's a must buy for me. But I would say this. The Mandalorian is really the show that you want the service for right now, and then, you'll get all that other great stuff. But let's just say you might not be the biggest Star Wars fan, or maybe your budget is tight. I think if you're more of a Marvel fan, you might think about not jumping on Disney Plus right now until they start releasing their new series for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's coming in late 2020. And then you have this huge Marvel surge of WandaVision, the Loki show, Hawkeye. Those are all coming in 2021. You have the What If animated series. More Marvel movies will be available by then, and so will more Disney movies, Star Wars series, and just more original shows. The service is worth it for me right now. Like, I'm not saying don't get it, but I'm just throwing out an idea for those of you to consider. It's not like everyone has to jump on day one, even if Disney wants you to. Now, for those of you that haven't already, you can sign up for Disney Plus right now for $6.99 a month or $69.99 for the year. There's also the $12.99 for the Disney Plus, Hulu with ads, and ESPN Plus bundle. If you already signed up for the Disney Plus Founders Circle, it was their 3-year plan that's no longer available. You can't integrate the $12.99 bundle into it. Disney Plus currently available in the US, Canada, and the Netherlands. It's going to launch in Australia and New Zealand on November the 19th. And then I broke down the pricing for those regions in my Everything You Need to Know About Disney Plus video. Then also we have March 31st, 2020. I know that seems far away, but that will be the launch date for the UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. That's when you guys are all going to get it. So you can check out this list to see all the devices also that support the Disney Plus app. It's compatible on Android and iOS devices, specific LG, Samsung, and Android TVs. We've got Apple TV, Sony PlayStation 4, Roku devices, and Xbox One, plus Google Chromecast, Chromebooks, and then also via Apple AirPlay and Amazon Fire TV devices, and on PC web browsers. I mean, that covers almost every device out there, and Disney Plus also allows 4 streams at 4K quality at the same time on them. So there you have it. Disney Plus arguably has had the strongest launch we have ever seen from any streaming service with their exclusive content, and then their huge library that's only going to be getting better. They're having some technical launch day issues. We know this. It's honestly expected, but I haven't been impacted by it. I know it's causing headaches, and come on, they're going to get them resolved. But Disney Plus, an absolute winner for me. It's not even fully ramped up yet, and it's already hit. For those of you that are looking to jump in a little later, maybe look out for late 2020 to that 2021, because that's when things are really going to take off with content. But if you love any of these properties, any of these, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, this is a must get. And then, come on, Nat Geo, Simpsons, other things, that's like the icing on the cake. And I know that we all have our own streaming services that we subscribe to. I've got Netflix, HBO Go, I've got DC Universe, but Disney Plus on day one instantly is part of my must-have core. It's already killer service, and it's only going to get better. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, hey, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to find out when my next video is dropping. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and be safe. Peace.